Hey, beautiful people. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling great. If you hear some noises in the background, that's the garbage truck. So, my bad. But I did get a spiritual download, so I got to share it when I get it, because if not, then I'm going to forget it. So, but yeah, the message that I just received is I don't know, some of us in the collective, like, we're being called to speak up more, express ourselves more, like say how we really feel, right, without holding back. And that's not, it's not to say you have to be vulnerable with everybody, no, because you don't want to do that. you you want to use your intuition and discernment to decide who you're going to be vulnerable with. Like, it doesn't matter who, if it's a family member or friend. Those titles don't mean, I'm not trying to sound no type of way when I say those titles don't mean nothing, but they do, right? But in terms of who you allow yourself to be vulnerable with, those titles, they don't hold much weight, because it depends on the person, their character, their personality, their their viewpoint, the way they look at life, all of that stuff, and whether or not you feel safe with that person to be vulnerable with them. You know what I'm saying? But that's just that's just another a side note. But um, yes, like, you're being called to speak up more. If you feel some type of way about something, say it. Don't be, a lot of us, there's a lot of empaths in the collective, myself included. That's something that I had to overcome, right? We don't like to hurt people's feelings, right? That's just natural. But if you gotta get to a point where you have to accept that sometimes people's feelings are going to get hurt, and you may not have intentions of hurting their feelings, but sometimes decisions that you make, or sometimes even just doing what you want to do, what makes you happy, that'll hurt people's feelings. And you don't, that's not your intentions, but that's just a byproduct of it. You know what I'm saying? And you still got to do what you got to do. You still got to stand on business when it comes to yourself. You can't be out here people pleasing, right? And not doing what you really want to do in order to appease another person, because then it's like, now you're not being true to yourself. So it's like, if you really don't want to do something, then you should speak up and say, I don't want to do it. And you don't need to give no long drawn out explanation. Like, you don't owe nobody nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's something you want to do, it just I don't want to do it. I don't feel comfortable doing it. That's all you got to say. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us, like I said, we don't want to let people down. We don't want to hurt people's feelings. So we'll try to give them long explanations, or we'll end up doing something for them, or doing whatever. And then later on, we're walking around with resentment in us because we didn't want to do it, but we still chose to do it. You will live a miserable life if you keep doing that. You gotta put them boundaries in place and say no, and put a period at the end. Because if not, you will you will be all over the place. You'll be getting caught up in other people's plans. If you don't have boundaries, like, you're not going to be able to accomplish everything or anything, right? Because it's like, you can't be everything for everybody, and it don't even have to do with other people. But it's like, if you don't have boundaries with yourself, then it'll still be hard to accomplish things, right? But anyways, I'm getting off track. Yeah, but yeah, you're being called to speak up, because some people, y'all, some people need to be told about themselves. There's a lot of people out here that's, they get away with stuff because they're used to being around people who are kind of, maybe non-confrontational or whatever, and they don't confront them. And they may have had parents who never held them accountable, or people just don't hold them accountable, right? And so it's like, they have this type of entitlement. They have this attitude, and sometimes they need to be told about themselves. As I'm saying this, I'm gonna share a quick story with y'all. I had just, as I said this, I just saw an image of my old manager. Um, it's, oh gosh, this had to been like, I think it was like 2007. This was a long time ago, y'all. But I remember, I think I was getting ready to leave work, and I was trying to ask the manager a question, and he was on the computer. But it's like, I don't even know what I was asking him, but I just remember he was so rude. Like, he didn't acknowledge me. He didn't even like turn for a quick second to look at me while I'm asking him a question. Like, yeah, he had the nastiest attitude. And like, this is not the first time too. This manager is known to, you know what I'm saying, not have a good attitude. And I was so offended. I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. I was offended, but I feel like looking back at it, I was extra offended because I was unhealed at that time. So that was a trigger for me, right? For him to not acknowledge me at that time. That was a trigger. Now, if that would happen present day, then I wouldn't even care. I would just be like, ugh, attitude. And then I would just walk off, and I would not take it personal. But at that time, I did take it personal because, like I said, that was a trigger. So, um, yeah, it bothered me so much. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I was like, you know what? I got to say something to him. I was like, just in case they fire me. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all remember I was planning my bills out and everything. Like, okay, I'm gonna pay this and pay that just in case they fire me, because I was willing to take that risk. I was like, I'm not letting this go. So the next day when I went to work, I asked my supervisor. I was like, where's such and such a manager? I need to talk to him. And she was like, oh yeah, okay, go back in the office. He'll meet you back there. And I was like, okay. He came back there. He was like, hey, what's going on? I was like, I just want to talk to you. I was like, I just want to let you know you got a nasty attitude. I was like, you were so disrespectful yesterday when I talked to you. And y'all hear that? Y'all hear that engine revving up as I said that? Now, when I was talking to him, of course, I was not raising my voice. I didn't curse, but I was assertive. I was stern. Like, I let him know straight up, you have a nasty attitude. And to my surprise, he said, yeah, I know I can have a bad attitude sometimes. And I said, I'm just going to I'm going to keep it real. I wanted to cuss you out. And he was like, well, you should have cussed me out. I was like, no, I say I didn't want to lose my job. But I say, but at the same time, I was prepared for it. But do y'all know, after that day, right? Every time I walked by that guy in the store, he spoke to me every single time. And it's because I confronted his ass. Excuse my French. Some people need to be told about themselves. That day, it was just, I guess God put that on my spirit. It's a lot of people, they knew this man had attitude. I'm sure he'd done that to a lot of people, but somebody had to stand up and let him know about himself. And God chose me. Because I'm telling y'all, like, and by the time I went to talk to him, I had already calmed down and stuff. But if I would have dressed him that same day, I would have let him have it. So anyways, that was for me to share that story. I don't know. Maybe that's for somebody. Like, somebody's being called to speak up, tell somebody about themselves. You don't have to be nasty. You don't have to be disrespectful. But people need to know. Yeah, people need to know. Yeah, you're selfish, or you have a nasty attitude, or you're vindictive, or whatever it is. People need to know. A lot of these people, they be knowing this about themselves, right? They're just hoping nobody else notices. And so when you call them out on it, at least that'll click in their mind. Okay, now they realize, oh damn, somebody sees me. Yes, somebody sees you. And that may trigger them to change their behavior, or it may not. But either way, you do your part in speaking up. You know what I'm saying? And if that person is not receptive to what you're saying, then you don't have to deal with them, right? But anyways, this was longer than I expected. I hope this helped in some type of way. Speak up, stand your ground, stand on business when it comes to yourself. Don't let nobody play with you in any aspects. Okay? So I'll catch y'all in another video. Peace, love, and light.